This is the Sarasota Technology User Group for Wednesday, April 7th, 2021. I'm your host, Huey Poplock. Just a little bit about STUG, or the Sarasota Technology Computer User Group. Classes and forums are limited to current STUG members only. The Windows 10 Tips, Tricks, and Tech Talk, hosted by Dave Gerber, is usually every other Friday. Here in April, he'll be on Friday, April 23rd from noon to 1:30. You do have to register in advance. Information on the registrations are in the newsletter that Dick Bayless sends out periodically throughout the month. And you should get the information there on how to register in advance for all of these forums or classes. The iPhone iPad workshop series for April is quite extensive, hosted by Bill Crow. I won't go through each of them, but he's got 2 on April 10th, 2 on April 17th, and 1 on April 24th. You can contact Bill for the link. And he's got quite a few titles there. If you're in the iPhone iPad world, these are invaluable and very good for you to join. The STUG Help Desk is now scheduled for the 3rd Wednesday of every month. Do you have a technology question to ask our tech-savvy people? Maybe you would rather sit, just learn and listen by listening to others. The next meeting is April 23rd from 1 to 2:15, and it is hosted by Jim Cerny. Beginning Android, Marcia Berkey is starting a new series, or at least a new session, and try to see if we can make it a series. We're trying a beginning Android Zoom class via Zoom. What makes this challenging is my not being able to see your unique screen. Androids have a lot of variability, so let's try this out and see how it works. That's on Wednesday, April 14th from 10 to 11. There's a free Windows security. Besides tonight, you'll be able to also take a look at the Windows 10 operating system. Comes with its own free virus protection application called Windows Security, also known as Windows Defender. It also provides protection from threats to your computer by using a firewall to detect trouble and preventing it from getting into your computer. This class will show the basic options, tools, and settings for using the Windows Security to keep your computer safe. If time allows, we'll demonstrate the Glary Utilities and CCleaner free apps, which will scan your computer and find potential problems and software updates. That's on April 15th from 1 until 2:15, hosted by Jim Cerny. To register for these STUG workshops, there are 2 methods depending upon the teacher. You can either send an email to the instructor, which includes your full name, member number, and email address, or you'll have a link provided by them in order to register, and then it will send you a unique link for that meeting. I also want to remind you about Tech for Seniors. It's hosted by myself and Ron Brown every Monday from 11:30 until 1:15 Eastern Time. And we're now not only on Zoom, we're streaming to YouTube, and we're going to try again to do it to Facebook. It features resident experts, Bob Gostischa, who is going to be speaking tonight, Ray Baxter, and Dewey Cluse. STUG members are invited to attend this action-packed hour. We're 54 episodes done, and the next one will be episode number 55. Also, last week was our first Tech for Seniors Live, hosted by myself, Ron Brown, and Bob G. We just sit and talk about tech and answer questions. Everyone's invited. There's no login necessary. You can ask questions via chat. We're going to stream it on YouTube and Facebook. Any questions, drop me an email. Also, my Windows Special Interest Group, this is every second Sunday of the month for the Central Florida Computer Society. But this month, we're going to combine with SEMCO, the Southeast Michigan Computer Organization, the user group up in the Detroit area. And I am going to do a presentation on Evernote. And then the second part will be from the SEMCO group on installing and using AV Linux distro. So it's going to be on Linux and it should be very informative as well. You can go to huey.net, sign up for the newsletter, and that will get you signed up for the, it'll give you instructions on how to sign up for the session on April 11th. For tonight, please add your name to the chat box. If you're a STUG member, your first and last name, your member number, whether you're a member or not, say I'm a member. And if you know your member number, put it in there. And then if you're a visitor, just your first, last name, the city and state where you're located, and if you're a member of a user group, which group you're a member of. And there's some examples at the bottom of this slide. Don't forget the STUG website at thestug.org. And don't forget the YouTube channel for STUG, where this session and others, as well as some of the classes, are uploaded and available to you via YouTube. Here are all of the officers of STUG. And I'll present now Ann Ross, the president of STUG, to introduce our guest speaker. Ann, take it away.
Thank you very much, Huey. Thank you so much for that presentation. And now, tonight, we welcome Bob Gostischa in a presentation called, Is Cybersecurity Really Important? Paying attention to cybersecurity is more important today than it has ever been. COVID-19 has exposed many more vulnerabilities than in prior years. More of us today are working from home. Many children are learning from home, and many of us have added more Internet of Things, or LOT, devices to make our lives easier. These devices present their dangers, which need to be addressed. This presentation points out those dangers and offers suggestions that will aid us in keeping us secure. Bob will recommend many free programs and apps to keep us safe and to reduce our privacy exposure. And he will guide us towards secure cybersecurity practices. After a successful career in banking, Bob threw off his tie to enjoy his retirement as an enthusiastic IT security expert, most notably for Avast, the creator of Avast antivirus software. Bob has been with Avast since 2004, I believe. Avast Antivirus is currently the most used antivirus software in the world. I am sure Bob will be able to tell us more about Avast tonight, as they are sponsoring his presentations. Also, as a side note, Bob is featured on the Tech for Seniors workshop, which you just heard about, with Huey Poplock and others on their Monday noon forums. So let's give a big STUG welcome to Bob Gostischa, or Bob G. You can pronounce it, Bob, for the rest of us.
Thank you. This may be a Zoom presentation, but even Zoom presentations ought to be fun. This is how I stayed safe during the pandemic. Hopefully, all of you fared as well. Question for tonight is cybersecurity really important? And the answer, of course, is you bet it is. Cybersecurity is important because it encompasses everything that pertains to protecting our sensitive data. And total cybersecurity encompasses protecting data, hardware, and personal security. Understanding the threat vectors. A threat vector is a path or a means by which a cybercriminal gains access through one or more of 6 main routes into a computer system by exploiting a route vulnerability, also called an attack surface. And the 6 main routes or points of entry are your network, bypassing the user, your emails, your programs and applications, remote access portals, and your mobile devices. Network security. It's a broad term that covers a multitude of technologies, devices, and processes. Simply put, it's a set of rules and configurations designed to protect the integrity, confidentiality, and accessibility of computer networks and data using both software and hardware technologies, everyone on the internet has to have a degree of network security solutions in place to be protected from the ever-growing cyber threat in the wild today. That protection also needs to be in place for you to secure your home network. 90% of all security incidents are caused by PBCAC and ID10T errors. PBCAC, the problem exists between the keyboard and your chair. ID10T error, it's a human frailty. Education and paying attention to details are the best cure for these problems. Here are some common flaws in email scams. The sender is bogus. By hovering your mouse over the sender's address, you can see the real address in the lower left corner of the email. The sender doesn't know your name. If the email starts with "Dear valued member," it's a dead giveaway that this is not a company you do business with. Hovering over "Click here" shows the URL's destination. As with issue number 1, they always attempt to look legitimate. Threats. A scam goes from apologizing for an inconvenience to threatening the recipient to scare you into responding. More embedded links. The scammer's experience has told them that the more links they put in an email, the more likely you are to click on at least one of them. Another favorite ploy is for there to be a link to unsubscribe from the email. While legitimate companies do have unsubscribe features, if you get this message in a scam, closing the link will likely deliver malware to your computer. What better way to learn all about phishing than right from the mouth of a fish? So let's talk about phishing scam. Who do you think is more equipped to tell you about phishing scams than me? Who else? Phishing emails and text messages may look like they're from a company you know and trust. They may also look like they're from a bank or credit card company, social security office, social networking sites, an online payment website, or an online store. Phishing emails and text messages often tell a story to trick you into clicking on a link or opening an attachment. They may say they've noticed some suspicious activity or login attempts. They may claim there's a problem with your account or your payment information. They may say you must confirm some personal information. Don't do it. They may include a fake invoice. They may want you to click on a link to make a payment. They may say you're eligible to register for a government refund. Like heck. They may even offer a coupon for free stuff. There ain't no such thing as something totally free. Just remember that. Remember that scammers use emails or text messages to trick you into giving them your personal information. They may try to steal your passwords, account numbers, or social security numbers. If they get that information, they could gain access to your email, your bank, or other accounts. Scammers launch thousands of phishing attacks like these every single day, and they often succeed. Don't be a sucker. Don't get caught. The FBI Internet Crime Complaint Center reported that people lost $57 million to phishing schemes just in 1 year. Don't give them your money. Be a smart fish. Avoid the hooks of spammers and phishing attacks. Stay safe. I'll see you again soon. Bye. Here are some tips to spot email scams. Since many of us now work from home, there's been an increase in employment scams, fake work from home job offers. There are also auction scams, fake messages from online shopping sites, financial scams. They'll come from PayPal, from banks you recognize, and many other financial institutions. There are also lottery and giveaway scams, foreign lotteries, competitions, free vacation giveaways. Usually, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Only download from sites and apps stores that you trust. Only deal with companies you trust. Never download illegal software. Never use a password generator or cracks to bypass paying for a legitimate program. Scan your downloads for malware. Test the programs in a sandbox. And if you really aren't sure about that program you're about to install, create a backup before you install. That way you have a way to go back to just before the installation. Remote access portals and open Wi-Fi. It may be free, it may be handy, and it certainly is tempting, but only use it if it doesn't require exposing any sensitive or personal information. Any other time, use a VPN, virtual private network. As I said, job applications are on a rise because many of us are working from home, and here are some of the warning signs to look out for. It sounds too good to be true. Vague job requirements and job descriptions, unprofessional emails, online interviews via messaging services. Emails don't include contact information. Search results just don't add up. You're asked to provide confidential information. You're asked to send money or use a personal bank account. They want you to pay for something before you're actually hired. Mainly, if your gut says this just doesn't sound right, believe your gut, because it's probably a scam. Those of us involved in tech support have run into many a farmer in the dell. Cybersecurity is only as strong as its weakest link. Hackers and crooks always exploit the weakest link. Let's spend some time on some tools that will aid in maintaining cybersecurity, and we're going to cover all of them. Our operating systems need to be updated on a regular basis. And the recommendation is, if there's an update available, do it, because most of the updates are there for security reasons. Someone's figured out a way to bypass something in your operating system, and as soon as you update, you'll again be safe. Our programs also need to be updated on a regular basis. Some of them let us know, some of them actually bother the heck out of us until we finally update. A program that I've used is called Patch My PC. Patch My PC can update over 300 applications. The next little video will show you how it works and why I think you should be using it.
Are you sick and tired of those annoying pop-ups reminding you to update some software program on your PC? Let Patch My PC help with the cumbersome task of manually updating your software. We can automatically update over 300 applications. It's critical to keep third-party applications up to date because hackers target vulnerabilities in outdated software in order to compromise your PC. Need to install a new application that's not currently installed? Just select the app, and then it's a single click to start the installation. Are you an IT pro? Easily create a baseline of applications you want to install automatically on multiple PCs. You can even configure Patch My PC to run on a schedule, so you never have to worry about it. Patch My PC, a little program that does a lot. It's simple, easy to use, and best of all, it's free.
So need to get in a habit on a regular basis to back up your system. If you're on a Windows 10 computer, you already have something built into the system. It's been there since version 7. You'll find it under the control panel if you look for something called Windows Backup and Restore version 7. Don't let version 7 scare you, because it works on the very latest version of Windows 10. My system every Saturday night is set to create an image backup. So when Saturday night comes around and I'm ready to get off the computer, the first thing I do is get off the internet. Then I plug in my external hard drive. During the night, the image is created. Sunday morning, first thing I do is disconnect that external hard drive from my system. Then I go back on the internet. You should never leave the external device in which you create your image attached to your computer while it's on the internet. Because if you get hit with something like CryptoLocker, it will not only encrypt your computer, but it will also encrypt any external devices attached to that computer. And the last thing you want is to have your backup encrypted. You will have nothing. It's also time to get familiar with your computer. An excellent program to do that is called SPICY. It helps you to learn the ins and outs of your system, both hardware and software. Also, keep your internet running smoothly. A program called Complete Internet Repair. I've used it for years. Whenever I have a problem with my internet access, this is my go-to tool. Provided the problem isn't with your internet service provider, you run the program, check the top 5 boxes and let it do its work. Once that's completed, restart your system. I personally have never ever not had my internet service back after using this tool. As I said, make sure the problem isn't with your internet service provider. On a regular basis, you also need to clean up the garbage that accumulates on your system. CCleaner, an excellent, small, effective utility for computers running Microsoft Windows, Mac, and Android that cleans out the junk that accumulates over time, temporary files, broken shortcuts, and other problems. CCleaner protects your privacy. It cleans your browsing history and temporary internet files, allowing you to be a more confident internet user and less susceptible to identity theft. I personally recommend that you use the portable version. You can install that on your thumb drive and take it from one system to the next. 2 excellent programs from a company called HiBit. The first one helps you manage your startup programs. Those are the programs that start when the system starts. They also use lots of resources, and you actually should only be running those things you actually have to run. And this will help you with that job. The other program helps you when you uninstall a program to make sure you uninstall all of that program. These are also 2 free programs. Let's spend a little time and talk about what will keep you safe and secure. No secret, my favorite antivirus program, and it's been that since 2003, is Avast Antivirus. I happen to like their free product. As you can see from the description, it covers lots and lots of things. Actually, the protection offered in the free version is the same as it is in the paid version. What separates free from paid is not the protection. They are add-ons. If you're looking for a firewall, spam blocker, and lots of other goodies, you're paying for those goodies. The protection is the same whether you use free or paid. There's also a version available for those of you on a Mac and on an Android device. If you're using an iOS device, there is no such thing as third-party antivirus. If you have an iOS device and there's a problem, whether it's through an infection or any other way, you get a patch from Apple, and that's how you stay safe on your iOS devices. Avast not only protects you against all forms of malware, it can also help you get rid of unwanted door-to-door salespeople.
Hey, I'm Shane with CDK Security.
Would you mind continuing your sales pitch into my little camera up there? I'll be right back.
Okay. So I'm Shane with CDK Security. We just put in a system for your neighbors down the street that and are searching for.
Avast tip number 75.
Avast is trusted by over 400 million users and stops 50 million attacks each day. Can you imagine 50 million attacks? I do. Constantly. Avast is trusted by over 450 million attacks. I do. Constantly.
Passwords need to be long and strong, and you should be using a different password for everything that requires a password. At our age, that's not always easy to do. What you should be doing is using a password manager. A password manager means you only need to remember one password, and that's the password that gets you into the password manager. I personally have used LastPass for many years, but as of March 16th, LastPass made some changes. You used to be able to use it on your computers and on your mobile devices. Well, now you have to make a choice. You can use it for free, either on your computers or on your mobile devices, but not on both. So you have to make a choice. If you want protection or you want it available on both your computers and on your mobile devices, you now have to pay for that product. If you're looking for something free, Bitwarden is an easy to use cross-platform password manager, which means it's available on all the different operating systems, on computers and on smart devices. It's very simple also to transfer your information from LastPass, if that's what you're using, right over to Bitwarden. Again, password manager, remember one password. It will make up all your passwords for you. It will remember your information, and it can fill it all in for you automatically. Also, make sure your password isn't 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's not really a password. Public Wi-Fi is safer now than it's ever been, but that's only because they now use HTTPS. For maximum protection on public Wi-Fi networks, a VPN is still recommended. When you use a VPN, you connect to a single VPN server, and all your system's traffic is routed through an encrypted tunnel to the server. The public Wi-Fi network you're connecting to sees a single connection, your VPN connection. No one can even see which websites you're connecting to. Here are some of the advantages and disadvantages to using a VPN. Your VPN hides your IP address. It hides your traffic from your internet service provider. It allows you to pretend to be in a different city, a different state, even a different country. Some disadvantages: it could make your browsing a bit slower. Some websites may block known VPN servers. Some sites don't work correctly if you're using a VPN. And some people think that if they're hiding behind a VPN, they become invincible. They're not. So overconfidence can become something that'll bite you in your behind. In most instances, the advantages far exceed the disadvantages, and this holds true for both privacy and security concerns. The VPN that I use comes from Avast. Surprise, surprise. This is, however, a paid product. It does an excellent job of hiding my location and gives me many, many choices as to where I might want to hide. It encrypts everything before it leaves my computer. So even if I'm on an unsecured connection and somebody harvests that information, it'll be of no use to them because it's encrypted and they don't have a key, they can't unlock it. So I stay safe even though the connection I'm connected to may not be. If you're looking for something free, there are quite a few free VPNs available. This is only a small sample, but the free ones usually have some drawbacks. They may limit the amount of data they'll encrypt. They may limit the places where you can hide your IP address. Some of them have ads and other ways of making life a little less comfortable when you're using those free VPNs. After all, they would like you to purchase their paid product. Something I use as an extra measure of protection and as a second opinion, Malwarebytes. I have a pro license, but I don't let it run resident in the background. It uses too much resources. I run this about once a month, just as a second opinion. I can also tell you it really hasn't shown me anything in a very, very long time. Realize that your modern antivirus program not only protects you against viruses, trojans, and rootkits, but it also protects you against all other forms of malware. Malware is actually an umbrella term that covers anything dangerous for your system. Something that Avast makes available as a web service. If you realize that your passwords can get stolen all the time, even if you're using a password manager, even if you're using very strong passwords, a site that you sign into gets hacked, and now the hacker has your information. Avast Hack Check can check to make sure that your password is still safe and secure. And this is how it works.
Avast Hack Check and how to use it. Once you go to the website, put in the email address for which you want to check for possible hacks. Click on Check Now. It gives you the results. It also tells you to go check that email because Avast has now sent you a reply to that email address that you used to check. So the next step is to go to your email account and see the reply that you've received from Avast. This is the email I received. It tells me to change my password now. And you'll notice you can't see what the password is, but that button on the bottom that says Show Details, once we click it, we'll get redirected to another site. At that website, it will show you the leaked password, and next to it, you see what looks like a little eye. If you click on that eye, it reveals that password that's been leaked. If that's still your current password, you better hurry up and change it. If you've already changed that password, it's perfectly okay at this point now to mark it as resolved, which is what I'll be doing. That's what it takes to use Avast's website to check for compromised passwords, hacked passwords. Stay safe, be free. I hope this helps.
This is not an app or a program that you have to install. You don't even have to be an Avast user. It's a web service. You just go to the website and everything is done through the web portal. Avast also makes an excellent browser. They call it their secure browser, specifically designed to make it safe when you do your banking and shopping because it totally isolates you from everything else. And if you're using their Android or iOS version, it even comes with a free VPN. If you're using this on your desktop for either Mac or Windows, I'm sorry, the VPN is a paid product, not part of the browser. But on your mobile devices, it is part of the browser. Our phones need as much protection as our computers, sometimes more, because many of us have more personal information on our phone than we have on our computers. Avast Mobile Security makes that very easy.
What are you downloading?
It's just a game on an app store.
Honey, are you using Avast? It works on your phone too.
It's just a word game. I'm sure it's fine.
Nice work, Bob. So I got access to all your data, photos and videos too. What? Yeah, the spyware is sick. And I get every photo we take. Insane, right?
No.
We should take some more selfies. The lighting in here is great.
Like I was saying, use Avast for your phone too. It protects you against fake apps, phishing, malware, spyware, and ransomware. Did I mention there's even a free version? Unlike those video games you keep buying. Ugh.
Most mobile device insecurities are a direct result of the apps that we install. Make sure that an app only asks for the permission it requires to perform its task. If it asks for more than that, don't install it. There are many, many choices. Find an app that only asks for what it needs in order to do its job. Verify the reputation of the manufacturer. Read and verify the app's reviews, and only download apps from reputable web stores. We now need protection for a lot more than just our computers. We now have things known as Internet of Things devices. Is your smart home truly a secure home? IoT devices may make our lives more convenient, but they also make our homes more vulnerable. Miss A, please let any would-be robber know that I'm currently out of town and my home is sitting empty. Mr. G, turn on my webcam sometime today and capture embarrassing video of me without my knowledge. Sounds silly, doesn't it? The truth is, if you aren't thinking about the security of your smart home products, these are the kind of risks to which your home and family might be exposed. There's no denying the appeal of smart home devices, also known as IoT or Internet of Things devices. We're talking about voice assistants like the Amazon Echo or the Google Home, smart TVs, web cameras, lighting controls, thermostats, door locks, heck, even refrigerators, coffee pots, and toothbrushes. Basically, anything with a network connection and an app that lets you remotely monitor and control the devices. The smart home category is booming, and its popularity isn't expected to fade anytime soon. But these devices have a dark side. Their popularity makes them a prime target for hackers. Avast sees IoT attacks as one of the biggest emerging threats in the realm of cybersecurity. Bringing smart products into your home also brings a variety of potential concerns. Some are basic privacy concerns. Is Miss A always listening to me? Some are concerns related to location and behavior tracking. You may be surprised to learn just how much information your smart home can reveal about you. For instance, something as seemingly innocuous as your smart thermostat holds the secret to your daily patterns. When you're home and when you're not. That info exists for anyone who knows where to look. Gizmodo recently published a fascinating story called The House That Spied on Me, a must-read for anyone who embraces smart home technology. Because the smart home technology is so popular, lots of companies want a piece of the pie. Many of these internet-connected devices are built by product and service-oriented companies, not by network security experts. Security may not be their primary concern, but it needs to be yours. All it takes is one vulnerable product to put your entire home network at risk. So what's the solution? Here's the good news. Security-minded companies like Avast are also paying more attention to IoT devices, developing the best methods to provide the protection that consumers need. IoT devices present different security challenges than computers and mobile devices in that they are closed devices. You can't load third-party security protection onto a smart TV or a webcam, as you can with a PC. Instead, Avast is looking at ways to monitor these devices' network activity. What are they doing? Who are they talking to? And how often? If that IP printer of yours suddenly starts talking to new and unusual sources over the network, that's a big red flag that the device has been compromised. Just as you can expect to see many more smart devices enter the market, you can also expect to see a new crop of security-related services designed to monitor them. This is Avast's answer to help protect all things that connect wherever they connect. It's called Avast Omni. Is your smart Avast's answer to your smart home protection? Avast Omni is a new type of security. It combines both hardware and software to keep you safe. Omni protects you everywhere you connect, regardless of how you connect.
We've entered a new age of online security. It's no longer just our computers and phones we need to protect. A growing number of things we depend on every day are connecting to the internet. Your smart TV, your thermostat, your cameras, and everything else in your smart home was not built with security in mind, putting your sensitive personal information at risk of being stolen. And in today's fast-moving world of next-generation cyber threats, even your physical safety can be at risk. A different approach to security is needed to protect you and your family in all aspects of your online life. Introducing Avast Omni, a new type of security for your connected life. Avast Omni is easy and all-inclusive. All you need to do is connect the Avast Omni hub to your existing router, install the app, and your entire connected world is now protected, from your home and its connected devices to your family, everywhere they go. The Omni app gives you full visibility of your smart home, so you can be sure it's safe. If any unusual behavior is detected, you'll receive an alert wherever you are, so potential intruders can be immediately blocked. And Omni protects you outside the home. Avast Omni gives you powerful malware protection for all your portable devices to keep you safe from the latest threats, wherever you connect to the internet. You can't control what's on the internet, but with Avast Omni, you can control how your children use it. Set limits on screen time, block inappropriate content, and get immediate peace of mind with our locator map that sends you alerts when your child reaches their destination safely. Protect your connected world with Avast Omni. Security everywhere you connect.
So where can you get Omni? Simple, just go to the website. How much does Omni cost? The last time I checked, it was $49.99, and that included free delivery of the hub, which is the hardware part that hooks into your router or router modem combo. That's the part that keeps all those smart devices in line and protected. For the rest of this presentation, it's okay for you to unmute yourself. Just wanted you to know that I have entered the Snapdragon part of my life. Part of me has snapped and the rest of me is dragging. You know you're getting old when a recliner and a heating pad is your idea of a hot date. 5 tips for women. It is important that a man helps you around the house and has a job. It's important that a man makes you laugh. It's important to find a man you can count on and doesn't lie to you. It's important that a man loves you and spoils you. And it's extremely important that these 4 men don't know each other. Find a job? It's okay, blame the government. This was our very first cordless drill. As we get older, sometimes it's time to admit it is time to retire. A wise man once told his son, "My boy, when you accumulate the understanding to know why a pizza is made round, to be put in a square box and is eaten in triangles, then and only then will you be able to understand women.
Or anything.
Honey, have you seen my box of laxatives? They look just like those little chocolate Easter eggs. Did you know that on the Canary Islands, there is not one single canary? And on the Virgin Isles, same darn thing, not one canary there either. I started doing these presentations back in 2010. Never expected, this is now year number 11, to still be doing them. I don't work for Avast, but I have a very nice arrangement with Avast. Avast pays all of my expenses from the second I leave home until I get back. And if my wife comes along, they even pay her expenses. Since March 12th of last year, I haven't left my house. So Avast has been getting a bargain.
Sandy wasn't there, so.
My presentations are always designed.
Very excited. Peter ordered the iPad. And I said, we don't usually go places, but I.
My presentations are always designed for the average computer user, not for the geek. If you know of any other clubs, organizations, churches, synagogues, any group of technology users that would benefit from a presentation, have them contact me and I'd be happy to arrange a program for them. There is never a charge to the club or its members for my services. That's where Avast comes in. If you learned something tonight, if you enjoyed the presentation, please let Eva at Avast know about it. That's how these presentations continue. If you didn't like the presentation, it's all right to let her know that also. And that's enough of this sales pitch.
Bob, that was wonderful.
Thank you. The link at the bottom will give you answers to most of what I talked about. I will also be sending out a follow-up email to Bill Crow, who is my contact person, and I'm sure Bill will pass it along to the right person so it gets to everyone. That will have the information we talked about. It will also have a link to a pre-recorded presentation, which you don't need since you're recording it. I'm now going to get out of here and I'll be happy to answer any questions that you may have.
So if you have a question for Bob, just raise your hand or put your go down to the bottom and find that, what is it called? Reactions, and put up your hand like this. Okay.
Dave
Anybody
has
have
a
any
question.
questions?
Yeah.
Right,
Dave
could
has
just
his hand
unmute
up.
yourself.
Dave Gerber has a question.
Yeah, Bob, do you feel it's necessary to have a VPN for your home computer?
While you're at home? No. No, I don't turn it on in my house.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Colleen?
I have a question for you. I belong to Best Buy and I pay them like a couple $100 a year. So all of my computer needs and are pretty much taken care of by them. But in addition, they install a protection for my computer. Do you think that's sufficient enough, or do they not go far enough for malware and so on?
Colleen, I don't know their product, and my job is not to knock somebody else's service. My job is simply to let you know what I use and why I use it. If you're happy with what you currently have, if you have no problems, your computer works fine, you have no infections, I don't see a reason to change. If you have some problems, your computer is slow, those kind of things, then you might want to consider making a move.
Thank you.
Mhm. My only job is to sell you the free version of Avast. And if you decide to buy it, you can send me a check for it. Anyone else have a question for me?
Bob, I have a question for you.
Okay.
You mentioned that a password generator was something that you should never use, but that a password manager is something you should always use. So what is the difference between a password generator and a password manager?
Okay, in the scenario where it was used, where you should not use a password generator, that was to bypass protection for a paid product where you're trying to bypass its protection. That's where you should not use a password generator.
Thank you.
Now, in a password manager, they can create passwords for you. So that's a password generator. There it's perfectly okay.
Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody else?
I have a question. It's not about Avast, but it's about the malware bite.
Okay.
And I even paid for that. I got hacked big time. Even though I had malware bite. Yeah. How does that happen?
What else did you have besides malware bites?
Well, I did have Avast too.
At the same time?
Yeah.
Okay, and when you got hacked, was it something brand new? Remember, there is no such thing as 100% protection, regardless of whose antivirus program you use. Someone is always the first one to run into something brand new,
Well,
and they're going to get infected.
Yeah, I don't know if it's that brand new. It was like, oh, I broke my leg and I need some money and go get me an Amazon card. That's
Well,
not new.
it was something that you initiated. Okay.
Me?
It's not a virus. Yeah, you replied to something that you never should have replied to from what you're describing.
Or you click somewhere on a website.
Gee. Wow. How are you supposed to know? You never click on a website? You never open anything? I don't know.
Bob has done many presentations and many small recordings on some of the things that you need to be careful of. If you remember his phishing cartoon that he did in his presentation tonight, one of the things you have to be careful of is when you get an email, don't respond to it until you really look it over and check it out. That's where you usually get bit.
Well, that's what they did with mine. They sent it to my mailing list with half of my email address, but the other half was wrong, and they didn't look. And thank God I got Amazon to stop anything. But yeah,
those kinds of things are not something Malwarebytes or Avast or any other antivirus program is going to stop.
Oh, really?
Because it's an initiative that you took.
Oh my God.
You got to be careful.
Sometimes we are our own worst enemy.
Well,
time to learn to be very suspicious. Don't be so trusting. The old days where a handshake was our bond, they don't exist anymore. It's sad, but that's the way the world is nowadays.
A question.
And don't be inquisitive. Don't say, "Oh, gee, I want to find out if this is real or not." That's not what you want to do, because they're going to get you.
Well, could I have gotten it from somebody else who did that and then sent it on to me or not?
Somehow they get your email address. Sometimes they just send it out to every email address they can get their hands on. So you just have to be careful. When you read an email, just check it out and just don't presume that they know who you are. They're just sending it out to millions upon millions of people. And then some people it fits and some people it doesn't. And some people bite on it and some don't.
Yeah, if it isn't from someone you know, if it isn't something you expected, don't act on it, throw it in the garbage.
So, but you think it came through email?
That's what you had described, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Paul?
Yeah, I don't really understand password managers. What keeps them from getting hacked?
The fact that they have a heck of a lot more protection than you and I will ever have.
All right, so this password
Everything
manager
is-
resides on my computer.
No, most of these reside in the cloud, not on your computer. Very few of them actually reside on your computer. Almost all of them reside in the cloud. And everything that they have is fully encrypted.
LastPass used to have, I don't know if they still have it, they used to have a statement that they would pay you $1 million if someone breached your account, your LastPass.
Well, I can make that statement too, just try and collect it.
Well, the difference is a company that has some reputation, good reputation.
Right.
I mean, it's, you know, they could say the same thing about a Ford, and you know, you get 3 blocks down the road and they can die on you. But those are circumstances. But for a company to step up and say that and never have to pay it, and
There's 61 people on the call.
I'll promise you, if someone made a claim, that it would be all over the internet if they didn't pay it.
Yep. Bad news always travels fast.
Bingo.
Leah's next. You're muted, Leah.
There's something that you have to change, your address, your phone number, some other information you have to change and that's related to that password. Is that still a possibility to do?
Yes. Once you sign into the password manager, then you can make changes to the information that it contains, which includes your sign-in information. So from there, also, if you're changing, if it's information that the password manager already knows, and you're making a change at a site where it has the information, it will let you know as soon as you make those changes, do you want me to update the information? Okay, but you can manually go in and make a change. So you could change it in your password manager first and then manually change it at the site or your bank or wherever you're using your password manager to sign in for you. Okay, but yes, once you sign into the password manager, you then have full control and you can make changes.
Thank you.
Isaac is next.
Do people recommend having more than one email address, one that you use for family and trusted sites and another one that you use for everything else?
It depends on how you do your business. I personally don't. I have one primary. I have many others, but I hardly ever use them. But if I have something that's very suspicious, I may use one of those email addresses that I hardly use for anything else.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Anyone else?
Just to be different, Bob, this is Huey. I
know you have 47 of them, right?
Yes, and I use a couple just for responding to you can download this free book if you give us your email address. Those I don't want them to have my regular email because they're just going to send out a lot of advertising. So I have a couple that I don't really pay much attention to, and I use those for those purposes. There's even some out there that are like they're 10-minute addresses that you can,
yes.
They're throwaway addresses that you can use in those kind of situations as well.
Right. Andrew?
Yes, hi. If you have a password manager, can you share it with your spouse? So you have You can go back and forth?
You can and you can't. It depends. If you have the same password manager and you only have one sign in for that, what you're sharing is you're sharing everything that's within that password manager. But then it becomes a common password manager. If you have absolutely no secrets from your spouse, that's perfectly okay. And she has absolutely no secrets from you, and you all use the same sites, that's fine.
Good, thanks.
Mm-hmm. Colleen?
I would like to say, not only is this an excellent presentation, but it is such an eye-opener that I'm going to be very careful from this day forward of every single email that comes to me. And I'm very grateful for your presentation.
Thank you very much.
Well,
Anyone
I think
else?
that probably says it for all of us, because I imagine we all feel the same way, Bob. It's really wonderful. The only thing is, before you leave, you have got to pronounce your last name so everybody will know the right way to pronounce it.
Easiest one is Bob G. And if that
Well, I
doesn't
know.
work, if that doesn't work, last name is Gosticha.
Gosticha.
Right.
Thank you very much. And thank you very much for being here tonight. Truly do appreciate it. Before we leave tonight, I wanted to say that we do have a winner for our $50 Amazon gift card. And if she is still around, our winner tonight is Nancy Place. Nancy, are you still with us?
Nancy's gone.
Oh my goodness gracious. Do we have another winner?
She's
No, I
still
see
on.
Nancy's still here. Nancy's
Yeah,
here.
she's still on.
Nancy's still here. I see you, Nancy.
Yeah.
Oh, well then get excited. You just won $50.
She's muted.
You're muted. You're muted. We want to hear you scream with excitement. Can you hear us now? Can you unmute yourself?
We can hear you if you talk.
Click in the mute and the unmute.
I need her address, email address. I've got her address, Sharon. So it's nanplace@gmail.com. So
yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Thank you.
So we want to thank everyone for coming tonight, and especially Bob again. Thanks so much. It's been wonderful. What a great presentation. And we will see you all very shortly. Does anybody have anything else to say before we leave the meeting? And would you please that email address for Sharon, I'll hand it. I'll get it to you. Okay. Anybody else?
I just want a reminder that we have a Stug blog now, and I forgot to mention that. Kate was on earlier, reminded me, and then she had to sign off, I guess. But I do want to remind everybody, we do have a Stug blog, and make sure you go to the Facebook page. You can get information there. And if not, on our website, there's information on how to find the blog.
Ms. Ross, can you give us Huey's email address, please?
Huey.
Huey's address is Huey, H-E-W-I-E, @HEWIE.net.
It's the easiest one that any of us have.
Yeah, just .net, not .com. There's a guy in Toronto who has a .com.
How
On that note,
how can we hear this presentation once again? Where do
you'll
we
be
go?
able to go. You'll be able to go to the Stug channel on YouTube, and there'll be a recording of it probably within a day or two.
Thank you.
Any more questions?
No.
Okay. In that case, thank you again so much, and have a great evening, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
We've heard that guy before.
I think it was